West Edmonton Mall's Galaxyland is officially powered by Hasbro. The all-new main gate was unveiled at the official grand opening of the park. The Brasstactics belted out the tunes as the curtains were pulled back and we got our first look at Galaxyland's main park entrance. Gone is the yellow on blue signage and theming. Say hello to a sleeker looking main gate. Silver colored pillars and circular features extend from the ceiling, and all of the famous Hasbro toy and game brands line the wall. The new main gate definitely feels more modern and clean, just like with most of the rethemes so far. Believe me, I know the nostalgic sting that happens when you see what you've grown up with change. Ever since it opened in 1983 as Fantasyland, it has undergone expansions, ride changes, rethemes, and a whole lot more. I've already covered the evolution of West Edmonton Mall's amusement park pretty thoroughly in a series of videos, so I won't go over all of it here. But in the mid-90s, Fantasyland's old-timey facades were traded in for stylized cartoon space themes, inspired no doubt, at least in part, by some of the original concept art for the park. Art which dated back to the early 1980s. Ever since the park's evolution into its now familiar galactic theme, a whole generation of visitors have grown up with oversized comic-styled space facades and park mascots Cosmo and Twink the Star. But that was almost 30 years ago, and in recent years, up until Hasbro was brought into the mix, I admit the park felt like it needed a refresh. So when I say that I'm excited about these unveilings, it's because I genuinely love what I'm seeing. Aside from the new main gate, which features a single central ticketing booth with multiple tellers, there's a few new additions that we haven't spoken about. Time Freak has been rethemed into Super Simon, modeled after the electronic Follow the Leader Simon game.
You're mine!
Simon!
Let's do it.
If you miss, you get the razz and your history.
Oh, yeah!
The fun is in the challenge, Simon. Take the Simon challenge, Simon.
I gotta say, this retheme is on point. The experience of this attraction couldn't be more fitting to become Simon if it was built for it. And the inside has been refreshed completely. Really polished and really sleek. I like it. But that one's been out for a short time already. What's new today? Well, for one, the mini donuts are back at Galaxyland. The former food vendor, once known as Stardust Donuts, has been moved from directly beside Feeding Frenzy to the other side of the main gate, now bearing the name Easy Bake Bites. Mini donuts that you can customize to your liking with a variety of toppings. I love the styling on this one too. The neon light sign, paired with the drawn treats on a black background, is especially striking. Next up, the former 35th Aero Squadron. The squadron now joins the Micro Machines theming of its neighbor, the MotoJump. The now titled Micro Machines Aero is really just a new theme on an existing favorite. I've always loved the 35th Aero Squadron. After all, it's a Fantasyland original. And as a kid, I loved Micro Machines. I'm not joking. I had a pink Cadillac convertible Micro Machine that I thought was the absolute bee's knees. Come to think of it, I kinda still think that. I also had the 1989 Car Wash City. I played with that thing for hours. Does anyone else remember this one? Getting back to Galaxyland. So yeah, I really like both the Aero and the MotoJump. They've updated these rides with some pretty slick paint jobs. They both look great. Finally, I'm coming to my favorite retheme of the park so far. Dethroning a theme which belongs to an attraction which I'll never get to ride. The Sorry Sliders. The walls around this attraction bring me right back to being a kid. I'm in love with this ride for the theming alone. I don't care that I'll never get to be on it. But today, I experienced what became my new favorite, at least regarding theme. the Monopoly Railroad. That's right, the Galaxyland Express has been rethemed for a third time in its lifetime. The ride opened as the Fantasy Excursion Railroad back in 1983, but back then it had a limited track layout. It basically went over to the kids' play park and right back again. And that was because the second half of the amusement park was a hardware store. It wasn't until 1985, when the park expanded, that the train's track layout became what we know it as today. But back then, the tunnels were different. They were a rather spooky haunted house, one which warranted a sign warning that young children might be too frightened to ride it. Later, when the park became Galaxyland, we saw the already renamed Fantasyland Express turn into the Galaxyland Express, and the tunnels were rethemed to host the park's mascots. It was alright, I guess. But today, we now see the Monopoly Express, pulling train cars along the Monopoly Railroad. The train station looks awesome. I'm especially in love with the railroad typeface sitting under the oversized Monopoly board pieces. The flooring looks really slick too, and it has all the graphics from the game itself. But I especially like what they've done with the tunnels. They're so much more nice. It feels like a completely different ride, elevated to a level of polish that we just didn't see in Galaxyland. I say that word a lot, polish, but it's true. These tunnels, they're sleek. It's production value that I've always felt we should see at Galaxyland, and now it's here. And they also implemented the Monopoly theming really well. That's the latest Hasbro update from Galaxyland. And what a milestone it is. With the grand opening, we now have a line in the sand. It no longer feels like Hasbro is coming. It's very obvious that it's here. The next time you're heading over to the mall, stop in at the amusement park. Experience all the new themes that have come into place, from Simon to Sorry, Micro Machines to Easy Bake Bites. And when you're chowing down on your custom donuts, remember, nostalgia is a weird thing. We might be seeing some pretty significant change. And while I, of all people, know what it's like to miss what we once knew, it's impossible to ignore how nice many of these changes are. So, hop aboard the Monopoly train and hope that you don't end up not passing go and not collecting $200 at Galaxyland, powered by Hasbro. If you're interested in learning more about the full history of West Edmonton Mall's amusement park, you should watch From Fantasy to Galaxy. Or if you just want a recap of the Hasbro transformation thus far, check out this playlist. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. Or watch any one of my other videos. They're mostly about the greatest indoor show on earth, West Edmonton Mall. Oh, and thanks for watching.